Hey guys, sorry about the crap there with the internet. I hope this is better. I don't know what is going on, but I had to, when I reset it, it kicked me out of the room. So hopefully we'll get everybody back here. Sorry about that. But in any case, back to what happened. My live stream or my internet when I switched over. You guys know how like you have a Wi-Fi router that has like the 5G and the 2G. I'm not close to my router, and so I was on the 5G, and I had a feeling that was what was causing it to be choppy, and so I switched over to the 2G. But when I did that, the room kicked me out. So I hopefully hopefully this is better. Hopefully we can have a live stream and you can hear me. And if you can like the video again, that'll let everybody know that this exists. And hopefully we'll continue our conversation. So apologize for all that. Again, I think it's Wi-Fi, so it's whatever. Okay, so where were we? We'll give people a minute to file back in here. I know there were a lot of people on the other live stream, and so yeah. Okay, well, let's chat. I do want to hear your thoughts, guys. So I know we were in the middle of talking about the adaptation, the actors, the actresses. Can they fit it into 4 episodes? What are they going to do for the rest of the 8 episodes? So I want to hear what you guys have to think. I want to throw it back over to you. What are your thoughts on the way the episode titles, the adaptation, the way the season's going? I want to hear kind of what you all think with that. So, any case, Daniel Lobo, I was not discussing the merger between Min and Elaine because that is not going to happen. I will address one thing while you guys are answering my other questions. People said, well, you left Min out. Did you cut her from your show? No, I didn't cut Min out. I just kind of assumed her scenes or her involvement in Eye of the World is really minuscule. She really only has 2 conversations in Eye of the World. I mean, it's such a small role that she's almost forgotten about until you meet her again in the tower. So I think they easily can put Min into the adaptation that I made. Like that isn't something that, I don't think that's something that's going to be a problem. So do you think they're going to put all of the Great Hunt into the first season? That's what I want to know from you guys. Is Eye of the World, and the Great Hunt going to be the first season, or do you think they're going to have a cutoff at somewhere else? Like, how do you all envision that going? Is my question. So let me, I really hope to only have the Eye of the World in season 1. Yeah, I just don't think that's going to happen, Daniel, unfortunately. I think there's too much, obviously, with the casting that we now have Liana. That doesn't mean that they aren't showing clips from the White Tower, so that maybe we are going to see part of season 1. Eye of the World. I just don't foresee it. There could be other routes to that, and I think maybe there's some exploration as to what's possible, but Blood Calls Blood kind of implies that, and it makes sense to me now having done that. I feel like actually, I'm going to say something that seems kind of strange. I feel like if they did make Eye of the World the whole first season, that it would drag. I really do think that now, having watched how long certain scenes last. Like, I've read Game of Thrones. I watched the way they adapted it in the show. Game of Thrones is a very different book, by the way, than Eye of the World in terms of Game of Thrones jumps point of view a lot, whereas Eye of the World is pretty much 90% Rand's point of view. And so a lot less happens in Eye of the World than you realize, I think, than you even remember. So I actually think that if they adapted it into a whole season per se, I actually think that there would be problems with that. I think it would feel like it was dragging a lot, actually. Okay, so 31-hour episodes are good for the first book. That's how long it took me to read the first book. Yeah, it should take just as long as it takes us to read it, right? If you look at the story beats for book 1, like in your previous vid, Eye of the World would actually move pretty fast. And it would. I still feel like it wouldn't feel like we're skipping a lot. Obviously, I think you could have made one more episode. If I wanted to make it into 5, I think I could have done that. But that would have been adding a little fluff to it, frankly. I think I hit pretty much everything that happened. The only thing that would probably not look good in a visual medium is Rand and Matt. We see us seeing more and more stops on their way to Camelin. That would have gotten old because it's pretty much the same thing over and over again. I mean, it beats the idea into them that they're being chased and people want to kill them and the shadows everywhere and nowhere is safe, right? It beats that into you, but we don't need 5 stops in the show to understand that. I just feel like it would take away from it a little bit. A lot of the Eye of the World is just descriptions, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I 100% agree. I just, after having done that, if you had asked me before doing my little experiment, I would have told you that there's no way that it could be done in 4 episodes. And now I think that there's no way to do it in more than 5 without padding it. I think that's probably what happened when they sat down to write it. I doubt that Rafe sat down and said, all right, let's see how much we can cut. I'm sure what they did is exactly what I did. They took the clumps of everything that happens, took the other themes and things they wanted to build for future seasons, anything like that. And then they kind of said, all right, what can we put in? What flows? Like they storyboarded it. And I think they know they've written for television. Like Rafe has written for television, a lot of it actually. And a lot of the other writers have written for television. So they understand how much time it takes for the written word to be portrayed on the screen. So yeah, I think that it's going to look all right. When do people think that they'll introduce men? See, Sarah, that's a great topic. I actually think doing what they are doing with, if they combine seasons 1 and 2, this actually makes it more likely that we're going to have Baerlon, and it makes it more likely that we're going to meet Min. Here's why I say that. You don't want to hire an actress to play Min and then have her show up for about a minute of dialogue in the first season and then not show up again until season 2. Because she's such a main character that would be a waste. But the fact that we're going to see the Great Hunt and that we will probably see Tar Valon by the end of season 1 means that Min will be there, right? That means that it's worth hiring that actress and worth casting her. So I feel like we're more likely to meet Min and more likely to have Baerlon be included simply because we are getting 2 seasons in 1. And that actually makes it easier for them to hire actresses for Elaine, Gawain, Galad, Elida. Like all of those hires make more sense when we're making it 2 seasons, not 1. Because that was always my worry with Eye of the World, is you have a bunch of quote unquote main characters that show up for like 1 scene in the entire season. That doesn't make any financial sense for a studio. So I think that we're actually more likely to see all of them. If Eye of the World had to be 1 season, really, again, Morghese shows up for 1 scene. Elida shows up for maybe, if you wanted to extrapolate, 2 or 3 scenes, maybe. But really 1 from the books. So I actually feel like we're more likely to see Elaine, Gawain, Galad, Min. They're more likely to hire people for those. And I just feel like we haven't had those cast yet. Or if we've not had them cast yet, we just don't know. They are keeping a lot of secrets. And I want to be very clear about one thing, guys. I actually don't believe that we've gotten any leaks. None of this stuff has been leaks. It's been a very calculated marketing strategy to have actors and actresses post stuff and then take it down. They've been doing that on purpose. This is not like, you don't get hired by a studio like Amazon, have an agent that gets hired by a big time studio for a big time project, and then willy-nilly post pictures of your, not the script, obviously everybody knows that was real, but you don't post pictures and talk about your role and then go oopsies and pull it down. Because like after the first time somebody did that, you don't think that everybody they hired, they'd be telling that right off the bat? I don't buy it. It's totally a marketing strategy, and it's a good one because it's making sure everybody's working, or everybody, everybody's talking about this, I should say. So it's totally not leaks. Somebody said Priyanka's was a mistake. Yeah, Priyanka's was a mistake only in that she did it earlier than the rest of them did. Not a mistake in that she did it. She didn't do it and then be like, oops. Like, nobody posts a copy of their script online. That's liken that to an NFL player posting the playbook online. That's just asinine and dumb. They would never do that. And they wouldn't be an actor very long. So, any case, that's my take on Min. I'm sorry you got me off on a topic on that. And again, I apologize for everybody that I'm missing your comments. By the way, I know some of you did it before, and I'll ask you to do it again on the new stream here because I had to turn the other one off. If you can hit the like button on the video, that would be absolutely wonderful, especially since I had to make a new stream here. It'll let YouTube know to recommend this video to people when you all like it, so I appreciate it. So Amazon totally knows what they're doing. They don't own all of Seattle and half the internet with speakers in everyone's house for nothing. And that's totally true, Rob. They're not dumb. I'll tell you this right now. I think Amazon, maybe other with the exception of HBO, because I think HBO is still the top. I think Amazon is, if HBO is 1A, Amazon right now is 1B in terms of the quality of the content they're releasing. If you're not looking or watching any Amazon originals, there's some really good Amazon originals out, really good ones. They do a great job. There have almost been none of them that are bad. There's a whole lot of really bad Netflix stuff. Like Netflix is like our marketing strategy or our content strategy is to throw shit at the wall and hope it sticks. And some of it does, like Stranger Things, and some of it's terrible. Thank you, MK. Do a super chat if you want to be seen. Thank you, MK. I appreciate the $2. You are the best. You did not need to do that. You rock, though. Thank you. MK is, by the way, she's the best mod ever. So be nice in the chat to MK, or else she will ban you from the room. And by the way, MK is also the mod of my Discord server. And so for any of you that are not in the Discord server, I believe it should be a link to that is in the description of this video. You should join our Discord. It's free. We talk about the Wheel of Time all the time. There's conversations going on about the show, about the books, about the individual books, all of that. So I would tell you guys, join the Discord. Hit that link. Even if you don't know how it works, it's real simple. It'll walk you through it. Everybody should join. Longshanks, thank you again. What if we don't want to appreciate the donation? You're the man. You can make a comment or ask a question that I can answer. But yeah. So definitely hop in the Discord. Leon, you are here. Awesome, man. Thanks for joining us from far away. So thank you. But what are, kind of shifting back at this, what are your guys' thoughts on Great Hunt? How far into the Great Hunt do you think we're going to get? I'm pretty interested to hear that from you all. My thoughts, I said those in the last video. My thoughts on it are that we are going to get not all the way through the Great Hunt. I don't see us making it all the way through. I think they are going to add some content. If I had to guess, I would say Land Fear does not show up until season 2. Wave Stormer, I appreciate you, man. I'd take your time on the Wheel of Time. Keep it up. Love your take on the Wheel of Time. I'm sorry, I can't read. Thank you, man. Thank you, Wave Stormer. I appreciate it. I'm going to assume you're a man. Thank you, person. I appreciate you. Thank you for the donation, and thank you for the kind words. Hopefully my Wheel of Time content sparks conversation, and that's really what this is about. I love the interactions with this, and really looking forward to when the show's out and when we start having more concrete stuff to being able to talk through this stuff and bring in new fans. It's going to be a lot of fun when we've got some of my favorite things that go on in our Discord server is we have people that are reading through the books for the first time, and we have independent rooms for each book where you can only talk spoilers up to that book. and you talk in those rooms. And I'll tell you what, it is so fun to watch people experience this story for the first time. And there are takes on things like Matthias. I don't know if he's here, but when he's on, Matthias Music is a guy in our Discord server, and he's in the middle of a Crown of Swords right now. And he obviously just passed Dumai's Wells. It's so fun to watch him experience that for the first time and the build up to it and all that. So I'm pretty excited about it. William Rogers, you're the man. Doing a great job, Nabe. Still think they will get to Falma in season 1. Hey, if they do, they do. I think that would be really pushing it if they got there, because I mean, I suppose it's possible. I won't say that it's impossible, but I just think that they could spend some more time in the White Tower. And I think there are some more added elements. The thing that changes with Wheel of Time when we get from Eye of the World to the Great Hunt is Eye of the World is, again, pretty much following the same group of people on the same journey. Okay. Great Hunt is a bunch of different groups of people at all different places in the world, doing different things and then ending up in the same place. That takes more screen time. The Wheel of Time is naturally going to take more screen time, I think, as we move on. Like Eye of the World is a lot easier to condense than Fires of Heaven will be, for instance. So Daniel Lobo, thank you, man. Can we discuss ways to eliminate a badger? Well, as I said in the Discord earlier, I think all badgers should be exterminated. If you don't know what a badger is, one of our mods is the Badger Reborn. I've just thought about exterminating badgers. Scott, my prediction is the Egwene capture being the finale. I agree. I think either the Egwene capture or Rand with the Portal Stone. Like, I don't think we're going to see Lanfear until season 2. Just my thought. Thank you again, Samuel. Please, weekly episodes for lots of prediction analysis. Yeah, I think they will be massively screwing up if they do not get weekly stuff. They're missing out on. I think The Mandalorian is more proof of concept that Mandalorian was so popular and is so popular because we got to talk about each episode, and it was a lot of fun. Unraveling the Pattern. Thank you, my man. Thank you for the donation. And hey, let's start with this. If you guys have not followed Unraveling the Pattern, he made the best, I'm going to say this, the best Wheel of Time video on the internet currently was made by this guy the other day. Incredibly high production value, super shareable. Definitely got my follow. If you have not followed Unraveling the Pattern or seen his video, you all need to do that. So you see that chat in there. Make sure that you head to Unraveling the Patterns channel. MK, if you don't mind posting a link to his channel or that video into the chat, I would love that. If you can find that for us and put that in there. That you all should check him out, follow him, subscribe, all of that, guys. He could use it's worth it. It's not, I mean, what he did blew anything I've ever done out of the water. So we need more good Wheel of Time content, and that's some really, really darn good Wheel of Time content. So check that out. So Lanfear showing up in the last scene of season 1. Brian, I don't think we're going to see Lanfear at the end of season 1, and here's why. A cliffhanger right like that, again, Lanfear's a larger character. I feel like they'll probably get a decent big name for some of the villains. You're not going to pay Lanfear for one episode. And if they were filming the seasons back to back, sure. But they're not doing that as far as we know. And so because of that, I don't think we see Lanfear until episode 1 of season 2. Just my thought. I could be wrong on that, but that's my thought. Jennifer Wood, what's up? I see you there. I don't know what you're talking about. Get him. He's great, but I love seeing you in here. You're the best. So, but yeah, by the way, I'll be super pumped if Unraveling the Pattern got another 100 subs from this video, guys. He's worth it. So MK just linked it in the chat. So if you've not done that and you want to follow a good Wheel of Time creator, click his link. The casting for Lanfear will break the wheel-time internet. Yeah, I have a feeling casting for Galad and Lanfear is going to be difficult, and here's why I say that. Robert Jordan describes them as being some of the most beautiful people like ever, like as beautiful as somebody could be. And obviously beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I feel like some people are going to love it because they find them hot. And some people are going to say that person's ugly. I can't believe they cast them. So I feel like they can't necessarily win with that. Just a thought. And also it's going to be difficult because it's hyperbole. Like, who is objectively like a perfect looking person, right? Like, who knows? Almost 5 a.m. here in Moscow. It showed up in Russian, so my translation in terms of your name, I apologize. I can't read it because it's not in. I can't read it, but I will read your comment. I appreciate your 200 ruble donation. Almost 5 a.m. here in Moscow. You gotta go to bed, but I'm in. Hey there, bro. Hey, here's the story. Yesterday I had a nightmare of them cutting both Min and Elaine. Woke up really shocked. What do you think? No, I don't think they're cutting Min and Elaine. The reason I say that is two things. Number one, Rafe actually made a joke about that during a question and answer session that he did before the show even went into production. And he talked about how that would be crazy talk. They're not going to be cutting Elaine and Min. So I don't think that's happening, number one. Number two, so then the next question is, are they going to show up in season 1? I don't know that that's 100%, but I would say odds are we're going to see both of them in season 1. Just because we don't know who's playing them doesn't mean they're not going to be there. Okay? So I think we're going to see them. I'll just say that. I'm nervous that we haven't heard, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to get them. Because keep in mind, guys, they're not the people that we had leaked info about were actually already hired and had been filming. These are not. None of the leaks have been accidental. I'll just say that. So they've purposely let us know certain people, and they're holding back on others. Okay. They had Padon Fane for a long time. He was at the table read. We knew that. There's still sections of the table read that we don't know. I think Daryl is Aram. I actually think Daryl is Huron. Of course, we could all be wrong. It's totally speculation. But I would say, I think Daniel is definitely not a white cloak like I originally thought he was. So, but hey, yeah, thank you for Moscow. I definitely still need to visit Russia. One of my places that I need to go. I think it's beautiful. I love Russian history, and so I can't wait to visit. It's one of my places I'm definitely going to go. Maybe we'll meet up in Moscow. Okay, if they haven't started filming the White Tower stuff, Elaine may not be in Prague yet, and that's possible. It's also possible that, again, they just may not have gotten to the scenes because Elaine doesn't have a huge role in the first half of Eye of the World. The only scene that she shows up in Eye of the World is when Rand falls into the garden. So, it doesn't, it is what it is. I'll just say that. Another turning. Huron is supposed to be middle-aged. Daryl for Massima. Well, Massima is actually older too. So I don't think if you're going to follow that logic, I don't think Massima makes too much sense either, because Massima, I would imagine, is older than Huron. They can make changes like that I don't think are a big deal. Like making Huron younger to me isn't something that's a big deal. He's not that big of a. His age has nothing to do with the story, and so if they wanted to put him in that role, cool. If not. It is interesting to think about who he is, though, like who he could be. I don't think he's Galad. Someone says that they think Daryl could be Galad. I don't think that. The reason I don't think that is again, I don't think this is as much a racial thing as it is. He's Rand's half-brother. So if he's Rand's half-brother, unless they're cutting that plot line, like they kind of need to look. I don't think they need to look the same, but they should look closer to the same. So. Okay. So has Logain begun to slow already? Probably. I think he has probably begun to slow, but he's also not that old. So, by the way, I'm going to doing my next video coming out. I'm curious if you guys are interested to see this or not. So I've done top 10 videos on some of the most powerful characters, like in terms of the channelers, fighters, I'm going to be doing well, I've already done it. It's not out yet, but I'm either going to do a top 10 or a top 15. I'm not sure if I'm going to expand it. Top 15 would be long. Top 15 or top 10 most powerful characters in the Wheel of Time. And I've got it ranked on a couple. I've got my, as somebody in my Discord server would say, I've got my rubric. So I've made out my stupid ranking system, and I've already ranked them, and it's kind of interesting. Obviously, some of the people at the top are predictable, but it's interesting to see where some people fall in that category. And the reason I brought that up is I was looking at some of the channeling strength stuff and how, like, the more powerful channeler you are, the more powerful that you are, the longer that you live. So, like, Rand, if he hadn't been sick or anything, or hadn't died or anything like that, at his level of power, he would be expected to live 800 years. That's crazy. Lanfear, same way, 800 years. Olivia could be 800 years old. So I did sort of a video like that before, Longshanks, but not the same one. So it's a little different. But yeah, I'm interesting to see. So I'm going to probably release that. How would you guys like it if I also did a video breaking down channeling, the way it works, and kind of the power structure of channeling, and who fits where in that hierarchy? I think I'll probably do one of those as well. Let me know what you all think on that. I want to get back to doing more lore videos. I've been trying not to do as many cultural profiles until I have more maps, because I want to be able to use all of my own maps for it. So yeah, Cad Swain is close to 300 something. She's like 320 years old. For someone who's in there talking about Cad Swain. So yeah, but she's not the oldest. Like, some of the kin were 400 and something years old. I want to say Rihanna Corley was like 430 years old or something like that. So yeah, I'll probably do that in the near future. Of course, there's more information keeps coming out, so I got to do more news videos here to keep up with some of the information. So yeah, Peter Franzen, I mentioned this, David. If you have not seen my latest video, Peter Franzen was seen at the table read, and then they later announced that he was a part of the show but did not give a role. Just the other day, Peter gave an interview in which he said that he was playing a warder, basically. And so we don't know what warder, we don't know who he is, but he is going to be playing a warder. So take from that what you will. So yeah, who was 600 years old? Peter Franzen is too big a name to be Swan's warder. I agree with that, unless they're going to expand the role of Swan's warder. So I don't think he'll be Ulrich. I think there's a possibility that Peter Franzen is Elias Machira. I think there's a possibility for that. I don't know that that's for certain, but I do think there's a possibility that he is Elias, because Elias is obviously a warder. He has a bigger role. He could show up later. I know this, though. Peter Franzen had talked about in that interview that he did not have a large role. So it's a fairly small role, but I don't think they'd bring on a big name in a small role if they maybe didn't plan on bringing him back later on. It just seems like he's too big of a name to be like a cameo. That just doesn't feel right. So we'll see. Maybe he's Tomas. Yeah. But I think Elias could be a possibility there. So what else? Let me hear some other thoughts from you all. Any other thoughts on or questions on the show, on what I think, on what you think about the adaptation, about what you think about, not only the show going forward, but adapting The Great Hunt into season 1. Do we think that that's no knock on Peter Franzen, but he's not a big name actor? I'm curious where you're from, Original Stickman, because Peter Franzen is not a big name actor in the United States. He is a big name actor in Europe, and he is a huge name actor in Finland. He's about as big of a name of actor in Finland as you can get. So I don't know that I agree that Peter Franzen is not a big name actor. In fact, he's the star of a pretty popular show in Vikings. So, and he's been around for a while. He's not a small name actor, that's for certain. He's not Tom Cruise, but he's not a small he's not a small name. And this was kind of what I was saying before. I think for Americans, I think the overarching point of view from a lot of Americans is that there aren't a lot of big names cast because there haven't been any big name Americans cast. But that doesn't mean that there aren't big names. Now, I do think for marketing purposes, if I was making the show, I would be on the lookout to cast a big name American actor or actress for a part, simply because the American crowd is a large one. So, you know, obviously the show is not made just for European audiences, and so I think it would be good to bring that in. You know, similarly, they brought in John Krasinski for Jack Ryan. He's a big name. Everybody loves The Office. It's the most rewatchable show in history. So seeing him is what caused me to watch it, and I thought he was great in it. So and by the way, Peter Franzen's character in Vikings is awesome. I see people talking Tom Cruise for Oliver. Yeah, I would love if they did not have Tom Cruise in this movie or in this show, but Seth Rogen as the Green Man. Yeah, now let's throw this out there. Let's hear your funniest actors to play roles in Wheel of Time. I'm curious to hear what some of these are. So Oliver is taller than Tom Cruise. That's funny. Vin Diesel as Bella. Guys, this crushed me. For all of you who've seen my Bella casting video that I did months and months ago, I have 2 videos based around Bella. One, I did a character analysis of Bella, and that was one of my more controversial videos. But after that, I made a follow-up video on the casting for Bella. And this was just crushing to me because everything in my bones told me Daniel Day-Lewis and Meryl Streep would play the front and back half, respectively, of Bella. Sort of like a human centipede, but in this case, like a human horse. I had a drawing up, but then we were proven wrong, unless, and this is what I'm holding out for, Daniel Day-Lewis is known for method acting. So the picture the other day that was released with Bella, I'm hoping that that's actually Meryl and Daniel Day-Lewis in costume, and it just looks real. It's a possibility, although the horse had a name, and so the horse had a name, so I don't know if it could be Daniel Day-Lewis or Meryl Streep. Unless, again, they're just in character right now and don't want to break character. So, yeah. Some of you guys are like, what the hell? Like, those of you who have not seen those videos are probably like, oh my gosh, what is he talking about? And I have a pretty dry sense of humor. So if you have not watched my Bella videos, you should probably do that at some point so you'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Sacha Baron Cohen as Luca would actually be really good. That's not even a funny one. Sacha Baron Cohen is actually really, really good actor. So that would be an interesting one. Ed Sheeran should not be anywhere near this show. What he did in Game of Thrones was ridiculously stupid, and it made me upset. So I don't want to see Ed Sheeran in this at all. The Rock is Wyram. All right, Daniel Lobo, you win. That one made me laugh. I'm just picturing The Rock trying to have a cavalry charge all the time. Liam Neeson is Morghese. Carrot Head, I already picked his Rand. Carrot Top, I mean. So Kevin Hart as Wyramon, I could get behind. Yeah. That would be funny. Well, all right, folks. I want to open it up for a few more questions and comments. Let me read some of your stuff, and then yeah, we'll go from there. Danny DeVito should play a hunter for the horn. Yeah, that. First of all, what isn't Danny DeVito great in? You guys are putting up some funny ones. These are great. Kanye as the creator. All right, Marcos, here's a real question. Hey, Nae'Blis, what would be something that you would not like to see on the Wheel Time show? Like some poorly handled aspect or such. That's a good one. I want to see the endings handled well. What I don't want is this. So CGI to me will be a big deal. If it looks cheesy, I think that takes away from the realism. So that would be bad. But what I really want to see, what I hope they don't do, is I don't want them to screw up the endings to the books. And what I mean by that is not necessarily, how do I put this? Not necessarily not do what's in the books, because I actually think they're going to have to modify the Eye of the World to make it make sense. But it needs to be compelling, frankly. So what I want is, I want the pace. The thing that I'm probably the most overall concerned about, if I really, sorry, I'm kind of talking out loud here, or thinking out loud. I want them to get the pacing right. I want it to feel not like it's too rushed, but like there's enough happening that we don't get bored. Because I think there were times in certain shows where, like Walking Dead, for instance, the pacing is terrible in The Walking Dead. Because there are parts of it that just drag. Like season 2 of The Walking Dead, there were cool things that happened in that, but for part of it, it just was like, okay, we're hanging out at the farm, and then we're arguing, and then we're at the farm some more, and then we're arguing, and like it just didn't happen. So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but that's something that I would certainly that I guess I'd certainly be concerned about. I hope they get the pacing right. Okay. The spanking coordinator. There's a lot of spanking. We need to have somebody coordinate all the spanking. So, David Keene, I just stopped watching with season 2. I kept watching Walking Dead because I still find that whole genre compelling. I stopped at Negan. I just got bored with it. So, would you guys want me? Would there be any interest in seeing me interview some famous audiobook readers by any chance? Would you all want to see that if that was possible to happen? That rhymes with Michael Tramer and Rate Ketting, maybe? Would it be interesting to you? Because I might. I don't know. I'm going to reach out to him. I would love to do the interviews topless. I don't know if that would go well for you all guys. Nobody wants to see that. I don't know. I'm not going to guarantee that anything's going to happen there, but I've thought about it. If you haven't, but by the way, I'll throw this pitch out there too. For those of you watching, if you have not listened to the Wheel of Time on audiobook form, I cannot recommend it to you enough. Those of you who have listened to the audiobooks, let everybody know in the comments that they should be doing that, because they're awesome. Like, I recently got to do my Wells again myself with Wheel of Time, and I was listening to the audiobooks. Michael Kramer, in the way that he reads that, adds so much to the story with the way that he reads it. The audiobooks are a totally different way of experiencing the books. And so if you have just only ever read the books, I would recommend grabbing the audiobooks. And by the way, shameless pitch, but it shouldn't be shameless. You get 2 free audiobooks. Click the link in the description below. Don't be dumb. If you don't have an audiobook subscription, you get 2 books for free, whether you pay anything or not. Click the link down there in the description. Get Eye of the World. Get The Great Hunt. If you're not hooked on the audiobooks after that, obviously you got them. You can keep them. You don't have to keep going. But I have a feeling you're going to like them a lot. Jennifer Wood, thank you again. Jennifer Wood is awesome. For those of you who don't know, she's a big supporter of the channel. She's the best. Thank you for the donation, and I suppose I'll take the yes as some confirmation that I should try and do that. So, any case, the narration's really good. They are a little off on pronunciations, and that's one of the things I'd love to ask them, is how like they did pronunciations. But look, they're awesome. Kate Redding, Michael Kramer, awesome with the audiobooks. Awesome in other audiobooks they do. They've done a lot of stuff for tour books. They recently released an indie book that they read, and that's a really good one. So you should all check them out. If you guys haven't done the audiobooks, again, click the link. It is shameless because it supports the channel, but guys, you get something free out of it. It doesn't cost you anything, so why not? Why not do it? So, anyways, yeah, Michael Kramer should play the voice of Luz Theron. Yeah, I would love to see them get a cameo somewhere for Michael Kramer and Kate Redding. I don't know. I just feel like it would be great to have a cameo in there somewhere. I would love to see Brandon Sanderson as a random innkeeper too. Not anybody famous, but just have him make a cameo. It'd be cool to see. I'll tell you, one of the videos I'm really looking forward to making with the show is like Easter egg videos. Like I'm really looking forward to like picking the episodes apart and seeing like the little things that they drop here and there. I just feel like that would be so cool to see, like, hey, here's a little Easter egg. See that map in the background? What that is? This is an allusion to Tyr or things like that. Like I love that. So yeah, big fan of them. Yeah, I've said that before. I think Michael and Kate should have named roles, not big parts, but like one of those. I don't know if they'd want named roles because they're not professional actors or actresses. Maybe they could, but it would be pretty cool just to see them in there, in my opinion. Please continue your videos on the nations of Randland, or should we call it the wheel? Yeah, I'm going to definitely be doing more of those. Part of the reason I've held off on doing more of those, of my cultural examinations, like I'm going to definitely be doing some. The reason I've held off on it is I'm still working on maps. Like that's kind of a slow process. I'm actually going to be working on a map of White Bridge tonight that's almost done. And so I want to be able to have maps that I can use for those that are kind of high quality because, yeah, I just want to do that. So I don't want to put any more videos out on that until I have better maps. So there's that. Jennifer Wood again. Guys, if you didn't know Jennifer Wood was awesome, she's still awesome. Excellent idea. The audio and Brandon giving voice. I would love to see it. I would love to see it. Brandon Sanderson, for all accounts, is a really, really good guy. You can watch. He's got a YouTube channel where he posts. He's a professor and posts a lot of really cool stuff there. So if you have not, I suppose if you've not seen anything with Brandon, you should watch that. He's been doing some live streams. Read his books. He's awesome, and I'd love to see him in the show. So yeah, Sanderson for a random innkeeper. Don't give people that aren't actors a bigger role. Yeah, I don't think he needs a big one. He needs almost a either a Quentin Tarantino role would be the highest. Quentin Tarantino famously puts himself in his own movies and usually very, very small roles, but have decent a number of lines. He needs somewhere between that and Stan Lee in terms of like a one-line cameo or something like that. It would be very, very cool to see that happen. Do you publish those maps? I want some. Jennifer, they are all the maps, all the ones or most of the ones I've completed are up on Patreon, so you should be able to see those. Just like Google, or not Google, but like type in maps. But the website is where all of these are going to, like, part of the reason I'm making a website is to deposit all of these maps in a public setting where people can search them, and when they come up in a Google results, things like that. Right now, there just isn't a place to put them where they're going to come up in a Google result, which is partially the reason for the website. So yeah, I have one other thought for you guys, and I actually want your general opinion on this. Seriously, like, don't feel bad to tell me don't do this. I really do want your opinion. So the website, let's talk about that for a minute. It's a lot of work. Because for those of you who don't know, with the website that we're making, greatblight.com is the website. We're making a Wheel of Time fan site, but in the process of doing that, it's going to be part blog with Wheel of Time news articles, feature other content creators, have a place to put maps. But we're also remaking a lot of the wiki. And it's just taking a lot of time, and there's hosting fees and things like that. And I want to be able to pay some people to kind of speed up and help me make it. I have considered a Kickstarter campaign. I've never done a Kickstarter before. But I know there's a lot of people that support me on Patreon, which is awesome. And it's needed. But I feel like website's also something separate from that too. And so I've thought about doing a Kickstarter. I've never done one before. I have no experience with it whatsoever. My question for you would be, do you think that a Kickstarter, a small one, I'm not talking like a $2 million Kickstarter for a website, but do you feel like that would be something that would be worthwhile doing? Do you feel like people would be interested in helping with that? Because I really want to get this out before the show comes out. Not only out, but I want it to be fully functional and a part of the community. I want to be able to pay for SEO, so basically search engine optimization, so that the website shows up in Google results. Because I feel like we're doing a lot with this. So I'm just curious for you all, is that something that you guys think would it be a bad idea if I did a limited campaign Kickstarter? Because we don't need a lot of money for this. I just want to be able to pay the hosting fees, pay out a few people to make some graphics and make some things like that. So just curious what your thoughts are on that. Nae'Blis says a bald Ruark. I'm tall enough. Yeah, that's for certain. I don't think I have the body for that. Mark Hamill as Luce Theron would be crazy. I would love to see that. I would love to see Mark Hamill in any role, frankly. Yeah, I don't know about that. Maybe do a GoFundMe so you don't have to hit a threshold. Yeah, I don't know much about it, Wavestormer. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about I don't know the difference between a GoFundMe and a Kickstarter, or if we have to hit a certain goal. Like, I don't know how that works. So that's why I said I wasn't sure. I'm glad for the feedback on it. I appreciate it. By the way, guys, if you haven't liked the video yet, please hit the like button. Jennifer Wood, what are specific goals, needs can you give me? I can probably talk about, I need to formulate that. Like, specifically, I want to pay the hosting fees. I want to pay for the website. I want to do and I want to be able to basically compensate some of the people that are helping me make it. Not crazy compensation, but we need to get some traction, and I need to pay some graphic design folks and things like that. And so part of the reason it's taking so long is because I'm kind of piecemealing it. And if I can hire some other people to help out with it, then it can go quick. So that's kind of the basic need for it, Jennifer. But I'll formulate that out, obviously, if I formally ask for money for it. I would not want to ever let people not know where their money's going. So I don't like to, Sarah Graham, I don't like to use Twitter or Discord much, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the news that comes off those platforms, mainly getting news from Facebook and YouTube. Yeah, Sarah, I'd love a site to help keep track of it all. That's really kind of the purpose of it. There is a site, watchseries.com. I'll put that in the chat, that kind of does this right now. It's not, it's a pretty good, it's a pretty good site. I want to be able to do something that, first of all, as I make content, I want to be able to find an audience to see more of it, frankly. But I also want to be able to feature some other really good Wheel of Time content. And I think the community around this show, the bigger buzz that we get, the more people that we influence, the bigger the show is going to be, right? Like, if there's a bunch of people that get hooked on this show, we have new people. We have new people coming into the fan base. And that's one of the things that I'm really excited. Like I was saying before, in the Discord right now, when we have people that are at certain stages reading the books, it's really exciting to hear them talking about it. I'm really excited for that on a much larger level as we're talking about the show. It's something that I'm super pumped about. And if this is something that, I feel like we've got a great community around this. And by the way, looking forward to seeing a lot of you guys at JordanCon as well. So for those of you that are going to JordanCon, I'm going to only be there one day because I'm actually going on a work. Sounds crazy. I'm going on a cruise for work the day after. So I have to leave a little earlier, but I am going to be there. Well, I'll be there for 2 days. I'll be there Friday, Saturday. But I won't be there on the Sunday of JordanCon. But I will be there, and I'm excited to see a lot of you all. I know Daniel Green and I have talked about meeting a bunch of you all together. So, yeah, we will do that. Guys, I think we're going to answer a couple more comments. Gosh, Jennifer Wood, you are the best. Look at you. Thank you so much, Jennifer. I appreciate it. Have a great evening yourself. Thank you again for the donation. You really are the best. Guys, I will I'm happy to have any of you that want to help. If you do want to help with the website, by the way, make sure you join the Discord if you want to help, because there are ways that you can help if you're interested in doing that. There's some work involved, but we've got some folks that are helping and they're doing an awesome job. So appreciate that. But guys, I'm going to wrap up the live stream now. We've gone a little longer than I would normally have gone. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. Watch some of the older videos. Definitely check out the Bella videos. And guys, I'll see you all soon here. You all take care. Thanks.